Greetings to Mr. Muhammad Fairuz bin Ali. My name is Ismazaidatul and I will be the first presenter of Group 5. Our topic will be mental illness. Before we start, I would like to introduce you to my group members. First of all, we have Irfan Zikry. Second, we have Angel Xavier. Third, we have Sylvester Chai. Fourth will be myself, Ismazaidatul. And last but not least, we have Keelbisas Mika. Now let's moving on to the introduction. What is mental illness? Mental illness can be described as the diseases that affect the cognition, emotion, and also the behavioral control of someone. This will affect both the ability of children to learn and the adults to function well in their jobs, families, and also broader society. Next aspect will be the causes of mental illness, presented by Sylvester Chai.
The causes of mental illness can be quite various and debatable at certain point. Mental health can get worsened or deteriorate from different factors such as biological factor, psychological factor, and also environmental factor. But in biological factor, mental illness is most commonly found in families whose blood relatives also have this mental illness. For example, schizophrenia, autism, and bipolar disorder. These three diseases are usually family inherited disease, which means that these diseases are being passed down from one generation to another generation. Furthermore, certain genes may also increase the risk of developing mental illness as their life situation may trigger it. Next, mental illness caused by psychological factor occurs when they are injured mentally after living through an extremely traumatizing event or a distressing event. For example, women who were abused or experienced any sort of traumatizing event has a higher chance of developing mental health condition. Traumatizing events can be defined as experiences that put a person at risk of serious harm or death. For example, prolonged abuse, violence, and road accidents. This can cause anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, which is well known as PTSD, in that person. When you experience a traumatic event, your body defense mechanism takes control of your body and creates a stress response. This is called fight or flight response, where your body produces chemicals to prepare your body for an emergency response, which can lead to symptoms such as raised blood pressure and increased heart rate. Lastly is the environmental factor. This factor is not linked with the other two factors, which is biological factor and psychological factor. Environmental factor is only affected by the individual's physical surroundings and their socio-economics. For instance, family background, income, status, peer pressure, and education will be discussed in environmental factor.
The symptoms of mental illness will be presented by Ismazaidatul. First symptoms: excessive fears. What does excessive fears mean? It means too much fear, such as easily feeling afraid and feel anxious every time. Second symptoms: face a problem to think rationally. This could lead to inability to concentrate and focus on something. The third symptoms is sleeping and eating dramatically more or less than usual. The person who faces mental illness usually experience drastic weight gain or loss, and some of them always sleepy all the time. Lastly, withdrawal. Withdrawal can be described as the patient prefer to be alone and have no interest at all to spend their time with others or communicating with others. This is a few examples of mental illness symptoms. Next, we have Irfan Zikry with the preventions of mental illness.
Hi, every disease and illness has cure and can to be prevented. Today, I will discuss two ways how to prevent mental illness. One of the way to deal with mental health issue is to make sure that we take a good rest. Getting quality sleep and enough sleep is essential for our physical and mental health. For example, some people need 8 hours of sleep to feel rested. Somehow, some people just need 4 to 6 hours of sleep. The next method, how to prevent the mental health problem, is by practicing healthy eating habit. The way you eat can affect how you feel for the entire day. We must invest some time and effort to hit a healthy diet to make sure our mental health be care and boost. Among the healthy eating habit, practicing dietary habit according to the food pyramid is the best way to analyze. There are many more steps that may be taken to prevent the mental health issue, and the best way is for the patient must receive a correct referral to address their disease issue. Thank you.
Now, it's time for Keelbisas Mika to conclude our presentation.
For the conclusion, there are numerous factors that contribute to the developing of mental illness. This is why some mental illness is very hard to identify. In the same context also, there are a variety of ways to determine if someone is really having mental illness or not, as well as techniques on how to curb and prevent mental illness from developing. That is it for the presentation from our group. Thank you.